Welcome, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of cryptocurrency consciousness. I have my reading glasses on today. Hello, Celine. If you can just confirm for me, seems you're the first one on. Sound and video okay? Hi. We'll just wait a few minutes, a few seconds for everyone to just come on board. If there's anyone here. Hi, Arlene. Actually, I'll do better without. Hi, Michelle, Diane. The masters have arrived, the genius creators. Ah, your presence is so appreciative. As usual, I have Marie on the side. If anyone has any questions or comments that she can reply. Hi, Laurie. Fabulous. So day three, after the first 2 videos have gone live, I've had an extremely incredible response, and I'm very grateful to see that bringing this information from this perspective, from higher consciousness, is serving you all. Because as you can see from my little videos that I post from Lucas, from the Good Bit guy, my favorite guy, he certainly does offer a lot of technical information in the form of diagrams and little cartoons, which I couldn't really do on my own. I don't really have the time or the skills to describe to you the technical way of cryptocurrency and blockchain. And it is so well described in his videos and many other videos on the net. But what my message is all about is to really bring this perspective from the energy part, the consciousness part of what this actually represents for us right now in this time in history. It is a first time in history we are all alive, and we can talk about and we can see a perfect manifestation, a reflection of the awakening of New Earth. This is the first 3D evidence that I can see that awakening has happened. And what cryptocurrency actually is, it is a manifestation, it is a software that represents value. It is not physically embodied like this thing called money, and neither are you. And this is why it is evident that awakening is happening. You are not just this physical representation of a body, and neither is cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are well spoken about in the forms of names like Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, and we'll all jump into that of this physical manifestation. But cryptocurrency is a software where value is encrypted on every single computer. It is a nodes of networks that is a grid above the centralized game, as we spoke about yesterday. It is a grid that's been created above it. This is a representation of the higher level of consciousness. This is why I wanted to talk to you for 21 days about it, where you really get the gist is that here, where we've all been playing around with money and how it's been functioning. And no wonder when I did my 21-day series, The Belief in Lack Creates Suffering. For those that don't know me, you can go on YouTube and even on Kusala Consulting page. They're all there. Where the belief in lack was creating suffering because we were all trying to find our self-worth in this money system that was governed and centralized by a one authority where we had to force ourselves to trust. Now the representation of cryptocurrency is finally showing us that we don't need to play with their toys anymore. By playing around with money, You stay inside the box of limitation, of the small structure that just keeps you around on the hamster wheel. We, the one authority, will print out as much money as possible, and you people of the world need to jump through hoops and go through physical activities and working and working and working to get this thing called money, and then get on the hamster wheel and do it all over again and repeat and repeat and repeat. And as they print out more and more money, the inflation and deflation can just be tipped from one moment to another, all in the hands of the one authority. Now, cryptocurrency, as we discussed yesterday, is decentralized. It doesn't come from any one authority. The good news is that inflation won't be one of the games or the rules of the games that we need to play with Bitcoin. And as you will see in the next video that I will post from my favorite guy, Lucas, there's a limited amount of Bitcoin, 21 million, which will probably reach in the year 2040. The fact is that abundance will keep growing. Whereas with the money system, it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Because there is no value, coherent value, pure value behind it. Why? Because you're missing. You are the actual value. And you will see in the videos of why that is so. The more people start lifting up, you get into the elevator and you go rise up and you start using cryptocurrency, you release yourself from the one authority, meaning now we have free exchange of this whole network, of this grid, these connecting nodes, where we can start freely exchanging value, meaning the more we use it, the more blocks are created, meaning the blockchain. Again, the technical part of it you will see in all my videos as I'm releasing them. But I want you ready to feel into this. We have decided from this higher level of consciousness, we are no longer going to play with the toys that they've invented in the game. The only reason why you can see this now, because we're all waking up. You've woken up. You are now perceiving everything from a higher level of consciousness. In order to exchange value, you are it. Your value is not a representation of how much money you have in a bank account. The bank account is part of the old game. This is why cryptocurrency, the software that is now a representation, it is reflecting the genius creators in us. Because, as I said yesterday, we have perceived a limitation where freedom of exchange, free exchange of value, was limited or hindered, in other words. There's one thing I really, really want to say clearly, that in order to be in a game that we've been playing it, their main point is to distract us between the polarities, between good and bad, low and high, less and more. And the more they start to say, you've got to work hard to have this, and you've got to do this to protect so and so and whatnot, it is going between the two polarities. And we've been distracted for so long between these two polarities. I've got to do the right thing. I've got to avoid doing the wrong thing. I've got to do the right thing. I've got to avoid doing the wrong thing. Now, the ingenious within you comes from that 0 point where you can see above the game. It is that 0 point where it just makes you go up and pushes you straight up. And that's where cryptocurrency and blockchain is now representing our point of focus. Our point of focus is, I get it. I can see clearly. My pure heart and pure intent, I can see clearly. The more of us that start interacting and exchanging on the blockchain, the more transactions are done, the more they are recorded on the blockchain through these computers. We are now agreeing to exchange value in the sense of energy, meaning us. Remember what I said yesterday: data is information, and information is light, and you are that. It is a pure representation, 3D manifestation of now what we can finally see and speak of and describe and use: the exchange of energy. Cryptocurrencies are it's a software where we exchange value through energy. We no longer need money to represent us because it is coming from a one authority. Now, right now, the main cryptocurrencies that it started it all was Bitcoin. And through Bitcoin, others have started to come up. And there are going to be many, many more of forms and diagrams of coins that we are creating, the ingenious creators that are within us on this planet. And this is why we won't be defeating a game. We will be simply choosing a higher level of consciousness to exchange on this planet. Because now we have come to realize we don't need something physical created by a one authority in order to do that. Until we raise to our level of consciousness to such a degree that we don't really need anything to actually acknowledge the value within us. But right now in 2020, this is the first stepping stone where we just simply choose not to play. It is not about trying to defeat the people that created the game. It is not about trying to prove them wrong. It is your choice and your willingness to see through the control and manipulation and rise above it, where you are no longer distracted by the two polarities that they keep playing with. It is in that 0 point where you see the manipulation and the control, and without further ado, you rise above it. Now there is a new platform. Before we didn't have it, and it was very, very frustrating, and you knew that, but we needed the time to raise our level of consciousness, to accept this genius creation that's just been offered to us. Blockchain and Bitcoin. When was it birthed? After the last recession that we all went through in 2008. Because these things need to be reset. The game needs to be reset so the hamster wheel can keep turning. There will be, as you can see in the last decade or 2 decades, it's always the same. There is a level of abundance and we all perceive we're all doing well. And then there's inflation and a depression, and we go all back down and we start all over again. And this cycle of the hamster wheel will keep going over and over again. But with whom? With those that keep believing in that lower level of consciousness that this is the only solution. But if we just keep stepping out of the game, rising above it, there won't be many people left to have the game working efficiently. Right now, there's a minority of people that have actually sensed and seen the higher level of consciousness of Bitcoin and blockchain and are beginning to use it. And this is where we all come in. If you can feel into the opportunity, it is not about believing about blockchain and the technicalities and if it'll work. It is a process. It is a system that has been birthed, and the more focus you give it, the more attention you give it, the more it increases and grows with us, for us. The fact that it is decentralized is already the main highlight about it. It is the elevator that takes you out of the game. With no hard feeling, with just a pure intent that this is where I want to be right now. the beginning of a new earth. And everything has always revolved around the fact of abundance. But with this system that has been created, lack can never be a point of reference. It will always be, what can I create now to add to the blockchain? Because with every transaction, the blockchain gets bigger and bigger and more valuable. I know with my videos, it's a bit hard to understand the technology behind it, but it has been invented, and I will be sharing that. Marie has also started helping people to actually get on board. She offers a 3-week course, which I'll get into maybe on week 7. I'll have her as a guest star on just to give you a little bit more information. By day 7, you'll have a more clear idea and feel into it if it's something that you feel like you want to do yourself, because this is the kind of level of education that we now need. Is how do I open my bank account, meaning my own exchange, my own account on the blockchain? It is your stepping stone out of the game. And I know in our generation, we've had to learn how to use the internet, how to use the computer. I was born before the computer. I had to learn how to use the computer. I had to learn how to use the internet and all these amazing technologies and apps. And this is just one of those things that we're going to be learning with our physical bodies. But our heart and our soul, we are already holding that frequency for the next generations to come. And the next 2 or 3 years, things are going to get rocky, because those that wanted us to play the game are going to see that less and less people are willing to play that game. And they've seen through the control, they've seen through the two polarities, they've seen through the manipulation, and have risen above it. It will always be my main message to you. There is no need to fight it, to prove them wrong, or any such way. We have the ability right now to rise above it. Cryptocurrencies is a form of exchange that no longer requires the one authority in the game. If that isn't exciting to you, this is the moment I have been living for my whole entire life. Without this prospect, without this vision, without blockchain, without cryptocurrency, we would still be discussing the belief in lack creates suffering. We would still be discussing that money is not representing you purely. It was simply a distraction. Back and forth between the two polarities, with this intention of constantly creating the same movement round and round and round. And if you can see, if you're either on the hamster wheel, you're not moving. It's like a rocking chair just going back and forth, not going anywhere. But now with cryptocurrency and blockchain, there is infinite potential for growth. Because as genius creators that we are, we keep creating more and more and more. We can start seeing. If you were not distracted by the thought of lack, or where am I going to get my money to pay my rent? I've got to spend 8 hours trying to get this thing called money. Where is all your energy going? Where are your creative energy powers? They're being distracted. They're being occupied with what we've deemed is important, but really isn't the ultimate important thing. The important thing is to know yourself for who you really are as the creator of value. You are it. And only through blockchain right now, this is what we've got. This is the pinnacle point in history right now, that we have an evidence in 3D form that we can finally step onto to rise above the game. We didn't have this before. It is an opportunity. And it can grow only with our attention to it. That is what cryptocurrency is right now for us all. To funnel all of our energy, all of our creative powers to a decentralized system. That is the main point. And that's why I wanted to talk about decentralization and centralization yesterday, because then all the coins that will be buying and investing in, transferring that which you call money onto it. Money at the moment is being deflated completely because of what's happening. As you're transferring it to the blockchain, into cryptocurrencies, now it has the potential of growing because Bitcoin is limited, where money can just be printed out at pure will. I was reading an article that Marie sent me that apparently now they're printing $1.2 trillion a day. And I was listening to a video that the president of the Federal Reserve said, we'll never run out of money. We can print as much as we want. So they can do whatever they want. And we can sit here and discuss it hours and hours and hours and days and days and days, distracting us from the actual focal point. Who are you and what are you here to do? Many people have been watching my videos on library.tv, and all of a sudden I now have 390 or 110 of these coins, that these coins keep growing in value. And Marie was telling me this coin was even valued at $1, which means, what is it, like $110 a day? Do you see what I mean? If we just start to investigate in inquiry, and instead of spending our 8 hours of waking time in front of the computer, looking at the manipulations and the two polarities of the news that go back and forth and who's right and who's wrong, that can keep you distracted forever and ever and ever and ever more. Whereas what I do with my attention now is I focus my attention, my energy. That is your value. My attention, your attention, where you place your awareness is what will grow. And if you place your attention there with a pure intent of, I do not gauge war against the one centralized authority, you have an option. It is trust in self. It is the perfect time in history. We've even been sent to our rooms to sit in our homes until further notice. What will you do with your time? Will you learn about it? Will you inquire more about it? Will you feel into it? Will you ask yourself, how is it so that this represents the value within me? Because these are all the questions I asked. Fortunately enough, I have a partner that's sitting right beside me that has already done this investigative homework for the past 2 years. In fact, she says, I've read enough to convince myself that I know that this is an opportunity, a once in a lifetime opportunity. We are living the actual initial industrial revolution of the 20th century. This is going to change everything. But the fact is, those that are not at the level of consciousness will not be able to go in wholeheartedly, because self-doubt and a bit of low self-esteem, low value of self will be there. And if that is there, then no, they won't take the leap. So where are you? Where are you spiritually speaking? Where is your focus? Because that will represent the value of cryptocurrency. It is finally, you finally have a representation of energy. It is not something embodied. It is not something physically embodied. And it is finally representing that part of us that is non-physical, but still we can use in this 3D world. Isn't this everything that you've heard when on your journeys in the spiritual journey? That you are physical and non-physical, you are this and that. We are one but all. Can you not see that how this is representing? It is the first evidence of awakening. It is the first thing that I could feel. It's an opportunity. Infinite possibilities come forth from a genius creator. Infinite possibilities. A creator will never ever ponder not even a second in lack, for it cannot exist in an infinite expansion of creators like us. Lack can never be on the table. Lack is only on the table when you're playing in a game of the two extreme polarities. What would your life be like when you wake up in the morning and you never had to think about lack? It is just growing of abundance over and over and over again. And this is the vision that I've had for as long as I can remember. Hence why I did the 21 days, the belief in lack creates suffering. It is thinking about something that doesn't exist and makes my frequency and my vibration lower. And then I feel so depressed that thinking about creativity or creating anything at all, I was depleted. But now we have something to focus on, something that is here. It is here. And yes, unfortunately, there are people in the game that are conveying information in order to scare the living crap out of everyone about cryptocurrency. And I'm here to just remind you that the fact is that it is a representation, that it can be very beneficial. It is a stepping stone. It is definitely a stepping stone out of the game. It is allowing me to open the door and exit the game. And already there, my heart feels so much more free. Free. I feel creative. I feel empowered. I feel not hopeful. I'm not hopeful. There's a knowing that something has started. The fact that there's other people doing videos about how it works. Why are they doing those videos? Is because they want you to understand how it works. They want you to feel into it. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I really want you to see the vision that I can see. That everyone has a choice. It's called free will. If you're here to play the game, I love you. If you're here to pave the way for the future, I love you. It is all about free will. And I will never go on a video or an interview about doing the pros and cons about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. For me, it is the door out of the game. It is the door where control and manipulation are no longer what my heart needs to feel. In order to connect, all I know is an open heart of pure intent, where my creative abilities are just allowed to just fly freely. And that's what I do every day. I wake up with that energy because I know something exponential is about to unfold. And I'm excited for the next 2 or 3 years. The next 2 or 3 years, I'm looking forward to like it's Cryptocurrency, the currency of vibration, the currency of energy. It is a physical manifestation of that energy that I am feeling right now, you're feeling right now, and we can exchange. We have created something that we can exchange with. We can see our energy being exchanged. And we've called them coins, and we've given them designs and names, just like the game did. That's why it's just a bridge. Cryptocurrency is a bridge. It is not the ultimate solution. This I said in day one. It is a bridge from the old to the new. It is a representation of the awakening. It is a representation of exiting out of the game. We no longer have to do videos about how to awaken, what to awaken. It's done. It's done and it's done and it's done. More people wake up to what the game is doing, it will be effortless to embrace Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. You don't even have to go out there and convince anyone. It is our future. But the more of us that hold that vision, it will be more of a comfortable transition for the others. I have nominated myself the holder of the vision. I hold the vision for the civilization, and it's happening in my time. I'm only 47. I've got plenty of time. I'm going to read some comments now, if there are any. Does anyone have any questions about? I really want to know more about that. Okay. I try not to spend much time on the technicalities, and this is why I'd like you to really fall in love with my little chap that I've found on the internet that talks about it. And he's got these amazing little diagrams with these cartoons, and it really makes it simple for all of you to understand. But if you do have any questions about it, you can either direct message me. And as I was saying, Marie's got the first circle of a group of genius creators that are actually getting their hands into it. And she started this course last week. And it's basically, it'll be 3 weeks because you'll have more or less an idea of what it is. And we'll start, I wouldn't say market it, but share this information with you from day 7. But if you are feeling a pull to know more about it, send us a message, send me a message, and we'll communicate with. I don't want to fill up my page with marketing and join this course. If you're pulled to know more about it and you do have money in a bank account somewhere, and before it starts losing its value of some sort, if you just want to tip your toes into it and feel into it, feel free to send me a message and we'll send you direct information without bombarding my page of Kusala Consulting. And as we come across links of these referral links that we send and we share with all of you, the people that share it benefit and you using it benefits. So if you can find someone that, if you have a referral link to something, send it to your contacts. They can also benefit because they'll also be accumulating coins and tokens. So this is what I mean by exchange. I get coins, you get coins, just by your focused attention to them and creating platforms. So when I mention exchanges and coins of things like that, just be sure to exchange these referral links so everyone can start building on top of them. All right? I do, but, oh, hang on, that's not a comment. That's a message that's just popped up. Sorry. So Rana, if you do want to know more about it, just send me a personal message and I can send you a PDF. All right, darling. Laurie. And Rana, another thing, I know you have a platform where you do some incredible work with other people. If you're most welcome, if you'd like to exchange this kind of information in your platform, please feel free to share these videos. Or if you'd like to do an interview together, I really don't mind. The more I can speak about the level of consciousness of this ingenious creation, what is called blockchain and cryptocurrency, and that is the stepping stone out of the old game, it is my heart's desire that people start to see that living in a world through control and manipulation is no longer required. So feel free. I'm up to it. I have plenty of time if anyone wants to contribute in that kind of way. Thank you. All right. Diana, crypto value can still go up and down also, right? How is that part different than the game going up and down? Thank you for that question, Diana. Did Marie reply? It is not centralized. The price depends on the free market. Maybe we can write something about that, Marie. Yes. Diana, that's a lovely question. I'm going to copy your question right there, and Marie's going to write about it. But thank you for asking it. Thank you for asking it. Anyone else? Hi, Monique. Play with their toys. Yes, that's exactly what I feel it has been. I've been imposed and obligated from the very first day that I started working that I had to play with the toys, this thing called money. So it does feel like now that we have this new platform that we don't have to play with their toys. What's going to happen? People are going to get upset. You're not playing with my toys anymore. You're not believing in the structure that we've, it feels like a way out. But what I feel like it's been happening is that us as a collective have created this pathway. It's not that something it's happening outside of me, if you know what I mean. It is a perfect representation of this higher level of consciousness that now it is evident that we've woken up because this has appeared. Do you see what I mean? It isn't another centralized someone's come to save the day sort of story. It's not. It is our doing, and it is here in a physical form. That's the feeling of blockchain and cryptocurrency. It is not. It is a collective. It is a collective grid that has been created above the game. So if there aren't any more questions or comments, hello, Heidi. Um, I've already gone over the 30-minute mark, and I shall see you tomorrow. And I will post the event and the topic. I still don't know what we're going to talk about. I have a funny feeling I'd like to talk more specifically about blockchain, but who knows? I love you all so very much. Be kind to yourself, and I shall see you tomorrow.